Boy Kills World stars Bill Skarsgård as Boy. Boy takes place in what I assume is the near future, where a new corrupt empire of gangsters have seemingly taken power. Once a year, the empire holds an event called the Culling, where they gather up their enemies and publicly execute them to entertain all their followers. Before we start, I want to thank you, specifically you, for clicking on my video because I know you only have so many clicks in you. If you're feeling extra generous, then I'd really appreciate you clicking subscribe, becoming one of the best friends, and one of my first 100 subscribers. So I'll keep this spoiler free because I think this is a really fun popcorn movie that you should check out in theaters. And surprisingly, the story and the characters have more depth than you would think if you actually watch the trailer. When we first see Boy, he's played by Nicholas Cravetti, who you might recognize from The Boys. Scratch that, his brother Ryan Cravetti is actually in The Boys. They're twins, and both actors. Wait, I was actually wrong again. They're actually both in this as Boy, and of course you wouldn't know it because they're identical twins. So in the beginning of this movie, we find out that Boy's mother and sister were both killed during the culling, and for an unknown reason, Boy was taken in by the shaman, Yayan Ruhian. I'm sure I'm butchering that name, but you probably recognize him from The Raid. So the shaman is training the boy in many forms of combat and survival, so that when he gets old enough and big enough, he can take on this revenge mission and avenge his family. So starting off with what I liked. So Nicholas Cravetti has a decent amount of screen time in this movie as the young version of Boy. His character is deaf and mute due to his tongue being cut out when he was young. Nicholas does a great job at portraying different emotions and getting things across without being able to speak. He also has a great training montage in the beginning of this movie, and you can tell that he really got into shape for this role. Bill Skarsgård is also totally ripped in this movie. He's been staying in really good shape for his recent movies, including the Crow remake, which has been getting mixed reactions, and we'll talk more about that when the actual movie comes out. Bill Skarsgård really kicks ass in this movie and apparently does a lot of his own stunts, which is also a plus. I really liked how lean he was. I can definitely enjoy a giant muscular dude kicking ass, but I feel like Bill has a more realistic fighter's body in this movie. Bill also does a great job at showing off his acting chops by being able to show a range of emotions without, again, being able to speak. If you've seen the trailer, then you know that we do get a little bit of help understanding his motivations, feelings, and concerns through way of his internal monologue, voiced by H. Jon Benjamin.
This was never a great city, but it was ours.
Are you with me?
That's me, facing televised execution.
And Boy lets us know that he chose this voice based on he and his sister's favorite video game, Super Dragon Force Punch 3, which is a real game that released along with the movie, and it's free to play on PC. Benjamin is funny in everything he does, so it's no surprise that he would be awesome in here. A great touch in this movie is that Boy actually has to read lips to try to understand what the other characters are saying, since he's deaf. He makes a point that he's getting better at it, but he's not perfect at it yet. And as such, some of his lip-reading translations, voiced by Benjamin, come out to some hilarious translations. Famke Janssen plays the leader of this empire, and I thought she did a really good job at moving from someone who's like a ruthless killer, but also like losing her mind over the years. I'm sure she's worked hard to diversify her roles in movies throughout the years, but for me, she's always going to be Jean Grey. I really enjoyed all the performances in this movie from all the actors, so I won't spend all my time talking about that, but I'll dive into one more specifically. Jessica Roth plays June 27 as like the ultra bodyguard protector of this empire. She and Boy run into each other a couple of times in the movie, and her badassery is just as high as his. She's in amazing fighting shape, and I'm not sure if the actress does all her own stunts, because for most of the movie, her character wears a helmet. But either way, the character was badass and the fights were badass. As far as what else I liked about this movie, I thought the music was fitting. The art style was really cool, and in the end credits, we actually get to see like a comic book anime style version of the characters, which was awesome. The action and fight choreography was top notch, and some of it was even a little too gruesome for me. I really enjoyed most of the comedy in here as well, especially the misread lip reading. The outfit that Boy wears I also thought was really cool, and I would be shocked if it wasn't based on Michael Jackson. I also mentioned that this movie has a lot more depth than you would imagine for a non-stop action movie like this. I really found myself connecting with the characters in the story a lot more than I thought I would. We even got a few surprises that I applauded for catching me by surprise.
Allow myself to introduce
Myself.
If you like movies with great fight choreography and over-the-top action, then you're definitely going to love this one. I'm really struggling to find things that I didn't like about this movie. It's kind of like if John Wick and Monkey Man had a baby with Archer. Alright, so let's get into my rating. I really enjoyed the story. Not every element of it is original, but it was enough to get me connected with the characters, so I'll give story a 7. I thought most of the acting was good. There's a couple cringy parts in there, but I think that was by design, so I'm not going to fault the actors for that, so I'll give acting an 8. As far as the writing, I thought most of the writing was pretty good. I thought the inner monologue voiced by Benjamin was genius, so I'm going to give writing an 8. The effects I thought were all good. Blood looks like blood. Body parts look like body parts. I thought everything practical looked really good, so I'll give effects a 9. For rewatchability, I think this is a great popcorn flick that I can't wait to watch again, and it really gave me that over-the-top gory violence that John Wick I think was missing, even though I love John Wick. It's not going to go down in any history books, but I was having a good time from start to finish, so I'm going to give rewatchability a 10. Before I give you my final score, if you've stuck around this long, then you might as well join the best friends and subscribe and help me get to that first 100 subs. It really helps me to keep making these videos, and if you do subscribe, comment below what you'd like me to say in my Arnold voice. Do it now! So for my overall score, I'm going to give Boy Kills World an 8.5 out of 10. That does it for today's review. Have you seen Boy Kills World? Let me know what you thought of the movie. Let me know what you thought of this review. Let me know in the comments what you'd like me to check out next. And what's your favorite over-the-top action movie? Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!